So when a person comes into the gallery to look at this, what they see when they see these instruments is the most articulate representation of an idea I have about another way to see nature that was possible 15 years ago when I made these. The only reason they exist is that's the best way I can say it. If I could say it through a conversation, I would have. It's a hell of a lot simpler. The transformation is simple. It's turning wind into sound. But the actual translation process that does that involves electronics and motors and physical mechanical systems. On the roof of the museum, there are 3 sensors. They're identical sensors. They're a wind vane and anemometer coupled together to read direction of the wind and its velocity. That information that's fed from those sensors is an analog signal. It's an electrical signal that's sent to a logic chip within each of the 3 instruments. The logic chip is programmed to take the information of the direction of the wind and its speed and transform that into actions of the motors on the instruments. If you go stand in the environment here, if I placed you abstractly with a blindfold on a mountaintop full of pine trees, you would know you were in pine trees when the wind blew. I put you out in the prairie, you would know you're out in the prairie by the wind blowing in the grass. So wind takes the instruments that exist organically in nature, and that resonance that is caused in those instruments when it blows defines the place it's blowing over. That's not an abstraction. That's an actual natural occurrence. So what I wanted to do with that notion of translating into sound is to make an abstraction of it that could be universally understood. So that's a real scientific kind of way to approach things. But the other side of it is that there's a real human kind of way we respond to sound that's different than the way we respond to a graphic image. What it's really about is perpetrating that idea, that notion that we can see nature in a different way than we're seeing it now. It's like these instruments produce aural images, and that aural image is like an actual photographic image, just place and time specific. These have duration like a moving image would have, but they are specific to place and time, so it frames things aurally. And that framing is what is the art. So when I'm out roaming around the ranch now, and I see the wind maybe just kick some dust across the surface of a flat piece of rock, it triggers all kinds of notions because I want to express to you my sense of all of this. It triggers notions because that's a wholly different mechanical system that just did what it took me months to do with those instruments. This is an incredible environment we live in. I don't care where you live in it. Whether it's an alley in New York or whether it's these ridges we look at here. It's incredible. It feeds us physically, but more importantly, it feeds our spirit. And it's occupied by the only conscious known species in the universe to this point. We need to be celebratory of the enchantment that's potential in that. These instruments are about being enchanted by the world.